David Malcom, owner of High Sierra Showerheads. High Sierra Showerheads is in the business of manufacturing its own design and brand of showerheads. They're all water conservation showerheads, very low flow, but with our showerheads, you're not going to have to stay in the shower longer than you would with a conventional high flowing showerhead. Well, most shower heads use lots of very small nozzles in order to divide up a stream of water that's flowing into the shower head into something that's supposed to be comfortable and is able to, rinse your body. This technique of making a shower head has been around for a long time. In fact, I have one here that is probably about 100 years old. This is maybe 2 years old. And they're practically identical in shape and size. The problem is when you get down into these very, very low flow rates like we're at now with at a gallon and a half a minute, these nozzles have to get smaller and smaller and smaller. They were already susceptible to plugging, but when they get down to 1.5 gallons a minute, they're really susceptible to plugging. Whereas our nozzle design is a single orifice, and all the water comes out of a single hole, and it's much less likely to clog up. So next month, all shower heads sold in California have to be 1.8 gallons a minute or less. Okay, and we coincidentally have 1.8 gallon a minute shower head, which is fortunate, for us because the cost of certification, they have to be certified, is quite high. And we've already got a 1.8, and we've had it for about 2 years. The fact is, there isn't enough water, even in a good year, to go around in California. And we have no choice but to conserve. But to conserve doesn't mean to degrade the performance, Because if you have to stand in a shower twice as long to get clean from a 1.5 gallon minute shower head as opposed to a 2.5, then what's the point? You haven't gained anything. You're still using the same amount of water. So water conservation is incredibly important in California, just because back when all the reservoirs were built and the water system throughout California was developed. It was in the 50s and 60s. It really hasn't been added to since then, but the population has doubled since then. And so there's only so much water to go around. And it's a limited resource. And it isn't right. I don't even want to use that. I was thinking fair. It's not fair. It has nothing to do with being fair. It's not right that somebody over here has maybe unlimited resource as far as capital goes, and they think, well, I can use as much water as I want to. And but it's not. That's not right. Morally, or I think legally, it isn't right that somebody, just because they have all the capital in the world, could be using a disproportionate amount of water. Because water is a limited resource. It's not like so many other things that are in abundance, and the more money you got, the more you can buy. But water's not like that. It is a limited resource. First of all, the state already has standards. Okay, and like we were talking about before, in July, the 1.8 gallon per minute maximum flow rate of shower heads is going to be the standard for California, which is a good standard, I think, because it's as we've proven with our shower heads that it can be done. We can provide a good shower from 1.5 and 1.8 gallons a minute, but there really isn't any enforcement. Anybody can go onto Amazon and buy a high flow shower head that is above even 2.5 gallons a minute. They're usually off-brand, uh, national brands that are well known aren't going to do anything like that. But there are a lot of off-brand products or shower heads that are being sold on through platforms like Amazon and eBay that do not comply with the national or state standards, and from what I see, nobody's doing anything about that, In fact, there's even you can go on the internet, and it's quite common to be able to find videos with instructions on how to remove the flow compensating regulators that are built into shower heads so that they flow a certain amount of water and not over that. In fact, I was looking at one last night, and it had like 250,000 views. And so that seems to be pretty popular. And of course, there's nothing that anybody can do about videos going up on YouTube, that instruct people on how to remove flow control regulators. But on Amazon, they do have vendors of shower heads that instruct people on how to remove their own regulators built into their own shower heads. And like I said before, these shower heads are not a brand that you would recognize. They look very similar to everybody else's shower heads, but they're being sold on Amazon. I bought one, or actually a couple of them, just to see what they're flowing, and one of them was at 80 psi, which is 80 psi is the top pressure at which certified shower heads are tested for flow. And these ones that I tested here at 80 psi were flowing from 5 to 7 gallons per minute, and I bought them right off of Amazon. And so that would be a great place to start, is at least do some enforcement of the new standards.